Hello humans, it's just Martine, and it's time to see what I think of the CAWPILE rating system. The CAWPILE rating system is this very intricate rating system that's been very popular around booktube for a while now and was originally created by G from Book Roast. I'll have all her information linked down below. When I make ratings, they're incredibly subjective. I feel like giving something a 5-star, it's getting a 5-star. I feel like giving it a 4.5 star, it's getting a 4.5 star. And a lot of people have said once they switch to CAWPILE, like, I'm never going back, this is so much better, because it helps make it a lot more standardized in the community so that your rating, quote unquote, means something. But what I want to do is an experiment where I take about a month. If I barely read any books this month, then I'll make it a second month. But I want to take a month and use CAWPILE and to see what I think of it. And before I enter my stuff on CAWPILE, I'm going to write down what rating I think it is, like I normally do on Goodreads. Then I'll enter it into CAWPILE and see the difference. And maybe we'll learn some things. So it's March 1st, and I better get reading so that I can get reviewing. And I finished my first read. I gave this read 4 stars. So I went into CAWPILE, I entered all the information. And then I took a while reading the cheat sheet part that tells you like what a specific number rating means for the different categories. And then I rated it based off of that. My original rating of 4, and this got a 4 to 4.5. On CAWPILE, so my very first opinion of it is accurate for how I felt about it. We'll have to see if a pattern ensues. I just read a book, I put it in CAWPILE, and it did match my prediction that I said to my sister earlier today. I said I'm going to give it a 1 star on Goodreads, but I think it's going to be a 0 star on CAWPILE, and I was correct. It's March 9th, and I've been putting things into CAWPILE, right? And I'm noticing that it's lining up with my original decision about what I'm rating things pretty well. I don't know if that's because my brain is going, okay, I want to give it this rating, and so it would be about here for these numbers. But I don't feel like that's the case because I'm not familiar enough with this. Like, I don't know the math behind it or anything, so I can't be like calculating it in my head. But I just wanted to discuss that because I just entered a book, and on Goodreads I gave it a 3.5, which is very specific, and then it came out as a 3.5 on CAWPILE, and that's just so specific. I don't know what to think. Am I just incredible at rating and I think it's entirely like random, but it's actually based on something? I don't know. My brain just goes, this feels right, and so far it's matching up really well. So I kind of want to find like a really trashy book that I really, really love, like that like objectively wouldn't be 5 stars, but that I want to give a 5 stars. Maybe I'll find one. So here's an interesting thing. I just finished reading Under the Banner of Heaven, and I gave it a 5 stars because it had me pretty much the whole time. I learned so much. I enjoyed it. I kept reaching for it. Like, I read it in 3 days. I put it in CAWPILE to 4.5, probably because I put the authenticity, uniqueness, and the writing, because it's nonfiction, as 7. I put uniqueness as being a 7 because like it was pretty unique, but also he directly talks about other books in it that have a ton of this information. So like, how unique is it really? Like, that was a thing that he brought up. And then the writing, I read it on audiobooks, so I feel like I don't have any way to say, but in general, nonfiction writing, like it was good, but it's not going to be my favorite writing. Like, he's telling me things, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I disagree with this 4.5. I felt it was a 5 very strongly. With this system, I'm like, would anything ever get a 5 for me, though? That's my issue. It happened. I actually got a 5 stars on CAWPILE. Finally. Woohoo! All right, it's been a little less than a month since I finished this experiment, and I finally wanted to hit you with some concluding thoughts. So overall, as far as like spreadsheets and reading trackers go, this is obviously a really, really, really great one. Like, it has a lot of cool features. It's very well put together, all those things. And I definitely enjoyed like the statistics it gave me when I had them and stuff. As for like how it affected my rating, it didn't much. Like, the ratings that I were getting were pretty consistent with the ratings that I would have given anyway, and did give on Goodreads. So like, I gave my review on Goodreads, then I entered it in CAWPILE, and the numbers were almost always identical. There were like 3, maybe 4 times where it was 0.5 off, but not anything like huge. It wasn't like I gave a book 5 stars and it came out as a 2 stars or something, which is what I wanted to check. The thing that I will say though is that I don't think having this elaborate of a system is going to work for me moving on in the future. It simply prevents me from wanting to log what books I read or like update my vlog or something, because I know that I have to do it and like it takes extra work, and it's only a little extra work, but there's resistance there, right? Like I already tell Goodreads that I finished it. I usually vlog about it. Do I also have to like log in and write down all the information there? There was so much resistance there, and I don't understand why there was resistance, but it was present. And even this month in April for Realmathon, I've been filling out a separate spreadsheet to keep track of Realmathon points, and that has equally been frustrating and preventing me from just finishing up with books and moving on when I'm done with that. I don't know what all that is about, but I think I learned that although I like the statistics that I get from it, I don't like the work of putting it in. Like it's just not worth it to me. And especially since I have some like basic statistics on Goodreads and then more statistics on Bookly, there's just no need for it for me, given the amount of resistance it presents. I'm not gonna keep it. Maybe in the future I'll revisit it if I feel like that's the right time for it. But I'm definitely glad that I tried this experiment, and I learned some things about my ratings and my views on books and stuff. It's interesting because on the one hand, CAWPILE is like a more slightly objective system of rating, and yet on the other, it's still your subjective opinion of each of those categories, right? So it's just a very detailed subjective score. So like your preferences for how characters are, that depends how well you rate characters in that book. Other people who have different preferences would rate those same characters in that same book completely differently. It's not like absolutely changing how accurate it is. It helps to make you reflect on which parts you really did or did not like in a book. So if you have trouble thinking of the different elements of a book when you're describing what you did or did not like about something, then it might be helpful to you, because you realize, oh yeah, it was the plot that I didn't like the pacing, or it was the characters that I didn't like, or it was the writing style that I didn't like. I feel like it's pretty obvious to me the things that I don't like about a book when I don't like them. I don't feel the need to like enter it in a spreadsheet. But again, I'm super glad I tried this out. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below, how do you keep track of the books you read? And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!